Good evening. I'm Tucker Green, and on behalf of the Optimist Club of Jasper, we'd like to welcome you all to the 2024 STAR Banquet. This is an exciting night in Jasper as we honor and recognize the top academic seniors at PHS and their respective teachers. This banquet is one of the highlights of our Optimist year, and our club has been proud to sponsor this event for over 4 decades now. Our club is a not-for-profit civic organization dedicated to serving our community, and our members give of their time, talents, and financial resources in order to give back to this community in many different ways. At this time, I'd like to recognize our club members. Will you all please stand? Thank you. I'm proud to be amongst each of you, and proud of all the work we're able to do by this club. Now, we have many different partners throughout the year that help support our club to do the most good here in our community. Some of them have helped tonight with this banquet, and you'll recognize them in your programs. And I want to take just a moment to thank them myself. State Farm, Harris Lowry Agency, thank you, Harris and Melissa. Piedmont Mountainside Hospital, Community Bank of Pickens County, I believe we have Mark Benton, Gary Reese, and Melissa Jordan here. Thank y'all. I want to thank ETC, always a great partner of ours, and Jason Smith here tonight. We have Royston, Rita Burch. Thank y'all for all the support you give the club. And I want to thank Superwoman herself, Miss Sue Appleton and the Appleton Family Trust. Thank you so much. Without these sponsors, it would very much limit what we're able to do in our community, and we thank each of them. We greatly appreciate all of our guests. We believe this is the biggest STAR Banquet we have had as far as attendance, and so thank each of you for being here to celebrate and recognize these students and these teachers and all their accomplishments. I'm going to turn it over at this time to the man who makes this program happen every year, and that is Rita Burch. He has chaired this program for our club for many, many years, and so thank you, Rita, for all you do. And I'm going to call him up now to recognize some of our special guests. Looking forward to celebrating our stars tonight. Thank you all.
It's a great evening to be here, and I appreciate everyone coming out tonight. This is, as Tucker said, the highlight of our Optimist year, and we're so proud that we can recognize these students and the teachers, and we look forward to doing that. And so, before we do that, I'd like to recognize some of our VIPs that are here and that are a big part of the community and who support the club also, in addition to those sponsors. David Simmons from Chattahoochee College. Chattahoochee College, this is just such a great place to have a banquet like this. We're fortunate to have this in our community. So thank you, David, and Chattahoochee College. We have the City of Jasper Mayor, Kirk Mayfield. Maybe he didn't want to sit by Chris tonight. At least our mayors seem to get along. The mayor and our chairman seem to get along these days, which is good. So, speaking of which, Chris Stansel, who is the chairman of the Board of Commissioners. Thank you, Chris, for being here. We're also fortunate to have our 2 East and West commissioners, Josh Tatum and Josh Tippins. Thank you for being here. Pickens County Probate Judge David Lindsay, who's always supported us, along with Chief Magistrate Alan Morris, Pickens Election Supervisor Stacy Godfrey, Appalachian Superior Court Judge Brenda Weaver, who has been a staunch supporter. She's a member of the club, but she has really supported this program before becoming a member of the club. We appreciate Judge Weaver's support. Appalachian Circuit Juvenile Judge Keith Galligan, and Appalachian Circuit DA just recently moved into that position, Frank Wood. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Judge John Worcester. Judge Worcester was a supporter of this club and this event for years and years. And we lost him last fall. And I just felt like I needed to recognize him and appreciate his support in the past, and he was a really good supporter and a person that really was well thought of in our community. So I'd like to thank Pickens County Progress. Hopefully you saw the articles that have been in the paper. Each of the students and teachers, we put a copy of that article, the paper that has a big article in it. And we appreciate what the Pickens County Progress does. It's nice to work and live in a community where you can take articles and they'll put them in there, and really appreciate their support. And tonight we have Max Taylor here from the Progress. And Max is representing them, and will cover this event for us tonight. NoPickens.com, Mary Livesey is here. She'll be filming this event, so be on your best behavior. We appreciate Mary and the support of No Pickens. There have been several of the articles in this. She will post this filming of this event on No Pickens, so you can be looking for that. I'd like to recognize our school superintendent, Dr. Thomas Travis. Thank you for being here, Dr. Thomas. And we're also fortunate to have 3 of our board members, Steve Lau, Amy Gibson, and Sue Finley. And we have the principal from the high school, Matt Combs. And we have the counselors, who without their help, we would not be able to have this event. They're the ones that do all the hard work and determine who the STAR students are. So I want to extend a big appreciation to Jenna Champion, Alicia Wilson, and Tara Joyce, sitting over here. Thank you very much. We're also fortunate to have again this year the governor from the Gateway District of Optimist International, Bruce Peace. Thank you, Bruce, for being here. And we have the Gateway District Optimist Zone 2 Lieutenant Governor Debbie Rathjohn. Glad that she could be here. And our guest speaker, Dr. Michael Shannon, will be introduced later, and we will do that at that time. This time, I'd like to call up Hayden Pass, who will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, and then after that, our club chaplain, Dave Slade, will lead us in the invocations. Thanks, sir.
Will everybody please rise to honor our nation's anthem? I pledge allegiance to the
flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated.
Let's bow our heads, please. Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for tonight. We thank you for the opportunity to come out here and celebrate these wonderful students that have achieved so much in their career, while we also honor their teachers who used their skills and their heart and compassion for these students to lead them this far. We thank you for the opportunity to celebrate this group. And we thank you, Lord, that you blessed the Pickens County school system in so many ways. We thank you for the leadership that we have, that we enjoy here, and we thank you for the reputation that this school system enjoys throughout the state of Georgia. We thank you, Lord, for this food we're about to receive. Bless it to our bodies and us to your service in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. And please enjoy your meal. I'd like to express my appreciation to the people on the STAR committee. We had a lot of people here today helping set up, and I appreciate what they did. But
On the committee officially is Sue Appleton, Susan White, Anita Walker, Tucker Green, and Destiny Schote. We really appreciate all the work they did. We couldn't put this night together without their help. So thank you very much. I'd like to thank a few other people. The certificates that we'll present tonight were prepared by Patsy Smith. I don't know if any of you know Patsy, but she's been doing that, I think, ever since we have been doing this banquet. And she's done a great job. She's probably wouldn't want me to tell you this, but I think she's 80 years old. And she writes a lot better than I do, that's for sure. But we appreciate what Patsy does. I'd like to thank Kyle France Photography for the pictures that we took of the STAR students that were used in the program and also in the paper. And I'd like to again thank Destiny Schote and the school system for preparing the programs and printing those and having them here for us tonight. I'd like to plug the golf tournament. It's one of our fundraisers that we use some of the funds from the golf tournament for our scholarships. If you play golf or just enjoy being outdoors, the golf tournament will be this year on Wednesday, May 15th. Just let us know. We'd be more than glad to, for any of you to play. I play in it, and if I can play in it, anybody can. But the Optimist Club of Jasper has been the local sponsor of the STAR program for over 35 years. Tonight, we will not only recognize the 2024 Pickens High School STAR student and teacher, but additional 9 student finalists and their selected teachers. Tonight, we will present each student and teacher with a framed certificate from the Optimist Club. We will also present the STAR student and teacher with an additional framed certificate that comes from Paige. We will present each of these students their scholarships at Pickens High School Scholarship and Awards Night on May 8th. The local STAR program is part of the statewide STAR program that is in its 66th year and is sponsored by Paige and the Paige Foundation. Since its creation, the STAR program has honored 29,500 students and teachers. The students that we will recognize tonight are in the top 10% of their class based on their grade point average, and they have obtained the highest scores on a single test day of the SAT. We honor these 10 students and teachers tonight, and the Optimist Club sponsored the PHS STAR student and teacher at the Region 2 banquet that was held Monday night in Dahlonega at the University of North Georgia, which our speaker is from. So I understand it was a wonderful night, a really nice event and venue to have that. So I appreciate Donna Enos representing the club and going to that. And I think Jacqueline was also there from the school. So now for the reason we're here tonight, to honor and recognize these STAR students and their STAR teachers that they have selected. I asked President Tucker Green to come up, and as we call the students up, he will present them and their selected teacher with their certificates. Our first STAR student finalist is Miss Paige Elwarner. Paige is the daughter of Jackie Elwarner and the late Mark Elwarner, and she chose as her STAR teacher Mrs. Judy Pinson. Paige is also this year's salutatorian. The next two, I want to call 2 students up next. This is pretty unique. I've been doing this for a long time, and to my knowledge, we've never had siblings as STAR student finalists. And as a matter of fact, this family should be really proud because their older daughter, Georgia, was a STAR student finalist, I believe, in 2024. And Reed told me that they got a younger brother and that he's going to be one in a couple, well, he's a freshman this year, so I think Reed has already challenged him to be up here in 3 years. So, but at this time, I'd like to call up Miss Heather Fernandez. They are the children of Caesar and Nancy Hernandez, and Heather chose as her star teacher Mr. Keith Petty. And Reed chose as his star teacher Dr. Kathy Daymude. Our next star student finalist is Miss Katie Morgan. Katie is the daughter of Brian and Amanda Morgan, and she chose as her star teacher Miss Lynn Cantrell. Our next star student finalist is Miss Allie Long. Allie is the daughter of Byron and Alyssa Long, and she chose as her star teacher Mr. Ted Estes. Our next star student finalist is Miss Jenna Gaddis. Jenna is the daughter of Joy Burnley and Jason Gaddis, and she chose as her star teacher Miss Charlotte Haughwout. Our next star student finalist is Miss Bailey Parker. Bailey is the daughter of Scott and Sandy Parker, and she chose as her star teacher Mrs. Blake Honea. Our next star student finalist is Mr. James Tilley. James is the son of Doug Tilley and Jay Riddle, and he chose as his star teacher Mrs. Jacqueline Powell. Our last star student finalist is Miss Sigourney Waina. She is the daughter of Cynthia and Brett McDaniels, and she chose as her star teacher Mrs. Tanya Russo. Well, my notes are wrong from last year, so. And I know this teacher very well. She taught my boys, and I had to mess it up somehow. So, Miss Tammy, Duncan, well, wasting pace from the previous years. For that, my wife's not here. So. Yeah, I was afraid of that. All right. Now, I'd like to call up our 2024 STAR student, Mr. Charlie Gibbons. Charlie is the son of Mike and Sue Gibbons, and he chose as his STAR teacher Mr. Adam Wharton. Now we hear a few words from Mr. Wharton and Charles.
Good evening. I'm not used to this, so this is kind of new, but also pretty cool at the same time. First of all, thank you to the Optimist Club. I know several members, friends with some, taught one a little bit ago. Charles' family, Mike and Sue, again, we had a great time with them the other evening at the regional banquet, and my wife being here. Congratulations to all the rest of the students and the teachers. It's an honor for me to have been picked. A lot of you guys are repeat winners. It's incredible the impact you all have had on past students. But it's an honor for me to be here. I take great pride in the fact that I've been picked now for the second time as a finalist. Exactly 10 years ago. Talked about that earlier. And it's pretty neat. Things have finally come full circle in my time at PHS. So I've been teaching for 18 years. 15 of those 18 have been at Pickens, coaching all 15 of those. And again, this is incredible. People I need to thank. Coaches from my past that had an impact on me. Nobody that anyone here would know, but Kevin Saunders is my head football coach. Bobby Shore, Vince Fields, two assistant coaches. I got to go back and coach in college with those guys. They've had a tremendous impact on me to the point to where one I talk to almost every day. My wife can attest. So that being said, you don't know the impact you've had on a student until they've chosen you to be their STAR teacher or invited you to the wedding tucker. Enough about that though. Let's talk about Charlie. Charles is extremely intelligent, motivated to be great, does not shy away from challenges, and it's no surprise to me that he was this year's STAR student. Again, it's an honor that he chose me. Charlie and I had the ability to develop a pretty close relationship because I've had Charlie, as we mentioned the other night, through 3 summers of summer workouts, 6 semesters of weight training, and this past season through football season, not only has I been the defensive coordinator for 3 years, but Charlie was the position I coached with defensive line. So needless to say, we have spent countless hours together. And it's kind of neat, the longer the years go on, we've just gotten closer and closer and closer, and we talk. I got him right now, we talk daily, just about anything. So it's an incredible relationship we have. A couple stories I'm going to tell on Charlie. One I told the other night, so I'm going to tell it again right now. Charlie's extremely bright. We know that. I've seen Charlie run around since he was probably about 8 years old in some other circles. But at the end of our summer workouts, what we've done for years is testing events, right? We'll see how much guys can lift and how they run and all these things. And one was the 5-10-5 Pro Agility Shuttle. They do that at the NFL Combine. And Charlie runs a 4.50. And the way we score this stuff is out of 25 points for 6 events. Well, Charlie ran good enough for 22 points. And I didn't personally see it because I'm in the weight room. But I'm going through the scores and I'm looking, I'm like, there's no way this guy ran that good. And so a couple of days later, we set the event back up. I think when school started. We set it up again. I'm like, I've got to see this for myself. One of the coaches timed this wrong, messed it up. And he proved me wrong. And so from that point on, it was like, okay, Charlie's the guy I got to keep an eye on. He's on my radar. I was in all my time coaching at Pickens. I did leave for 2 years and come back. So Charlie had already gone through his freshman year. And it's our first home game in 21. And one of my duties is kind of get up, walk around the locker room, make sure the teenage boys back there are behaving, nobody's choking somebody out. Usually there's WrestleMania somewhere, you got to keep an eye on it. And walking through, and you know what groups of kids are being rowdy and stuff, and I get around the corner, and here sits Charlie in his locker, crisscross applesauce, with a novel. I'm like, we're like 2 hours away from playing a game. I'm like, what do you do? And nose in a book. And I don't know how he did it because of all the noise and stuff going on. But that got to be Charlie every Friday at home, and we had a chance to kind of a couple hours to be at home and relax. Charlie's in there reading a book or doing AP, pick a class. And so that's just Charlie to me. And all that reminds me of a quote that was ingrained in me as a child from my father. My father grew up in the Bear Bryant era, and the quote goes like this: "The desire to strive for excellence is a rare quality, found only in those who are willing to sacrifice to become winners and champions." And Charlie, to me, embodies that. We don't always become winners and champions at everything we do. It's striving to be perfect, to improve, and get great at things. And to me, that's Charlie. Another example, one of our biggest lifts that we do, I love teaching it the most, is cleans, Olympic lift power cleans. And I looked this up. The same year that Charlie ran the 4.50 on the 5.10.5 and impressed me, Charlie had a 215-pound clean max. I'm like, that's okay. But what I like about the cleans is when guys figure it out, they take off. And we track the weights. So it wasn't perfect. We had our trials and tribulations, always critiquing the technique, and he would get so frustrated. But let's go back to the quote: strive for excellence. Charlie wanted to get it right. And when he did it, you can see the light bulb go off. And that's that's the joy I get out of that part. So Charlie gets it so well that he improves to a 285-pound max over the next 2.5 years. Now, this is where you're about to come up here, Charlie, come on. Back in the summer, we decided we were going to get t-shirts printed up for certain weight marks. And it was stated, 275 is one of those weight marks, 275 pounds. If at any point in the year that you hit it, and it doesn't have to be on max that day, we will get you a t-shirt. Well, we failed to do that. And so I'm going to give Charlie that t-shirt here tonight. But the point of that story is Charlie never gave up. He never gave up in football. He's never given up in the weight room to the point now. His senior year is coming to an end, and he's still in there. Charlie got to the point, though, too, where he can go instruct other kids. He's a coach in the room, other than just me. Throughout the past 3 years, Charlie battled through some nagging hip pain because he was also a kicker. And the way he approached the ball and kicked the ball affected stuff. It bothered him mostly because it affected his cleans. He would get so frustrated. And so we have to have these little pep talks. If it's okay, back off, do whatever, we'll do anything to get through. But again, Charlie was striving to be great, striving for excellence. And as a coach, like, those are the rare guys. Those are the ones that you're looking for. The gym in the locker room, the gym in the classroom. I know days that we would be off, especially in the summer, with the dead weeks. We'd go out to the field house to get something, or even on a Friday when we weren't doing anything in the summer, pulling into the field house, and you look down at the field, and you're like, who's down there on the field? It's Miss Gibbons, with a beach chair and an umbrella. Charlie's got a bag of footballs down there kicking. Stuff on his own. And so as a coach, too, you know, you don't have to worry about that guy. He's got it figured out. He's driven. Last story I'm going to tell about Charlie before we move on. And I think this is key moving forward. You know, things don't always go your way. We had a tough loss one night. You go back to the locker room when the game's over and you're checking on the players and making sure guys are okay. And Charlie's upset. And I remember it was this season. We embraced, we hugged, told him it's okay. It's a learning moment. It's not that we got beat, we got to learn from it. And life's like that. You're going to have a hard day. You're going to have a college class that'll be tough. Can you learn from it to get better the next day and the next week? And I do believe that Charlie is that guy. But that is a moment that I will not forget. A couple of his best game stats. First game of the year, Charlie had 4 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, 3 sacks, and a forced fumble. The forced fumble led to a touchdown that helped us win the game. A game full of highs and lows. It was incredible. His excitement coming off was just complete fun to watch. Later in the season, another game we won due to Charlie. 7 solo tackles, 9 total tackles, 5 tackles for loss, 1 sack, and 1 pass breakup. We were debating back and forth. He's telling the story about that game. I just said, I won't mention that game tonight, but I'm still going to talk about this. But anyway, Charlie's going on to college to be an aerospace engineer. Thomas Edison said, I've not failed, but I found 1,000 ways not to make a light bulb. You're going to fail. You're all going to fail. How are you going to respond? It's okay. Pick yourself up. Brush yourself off. And move forward. And try again. You don't fail until you quit and give up. All that being said, I'm most proud of Charlie for being a STAR student. The young man he's become, his attitude and how he approaches daily challenges, his desire to be the best at everything he does, his willingness to work to become better at things that do not come easy to him, and the impact I have no doubt he's going to have on this world, but most importantly, the lasting impact he has had on my life as a teacher and a coach. So now here's my challenge, not only to Charlie, but the rest of you STAR students, because you're all highly intelligent. If you weren't, you wouldn't be here. A couple quotes, no pun intended, I know where Charlie's going, but the first one is by Nick Saban. Live by the creed that a strong work ethic, playing by the rules, and doing things the right way will bring about opportunities for success and ultimately happiness. Next one by Bear Bryant. Never quit. It's the easiest compound in the world. Set a goal and don't quit until you attain it. When you do attain it, set another goal and don't quit until you reach it. Never quit. Lastly, reflect on what I put in the article for the STAR, article in the newspaper. Relationships matter with people. This one for me is going to last a lifetime. Always give your best, no matter what you're doing. Give the best version of yourself today. It's okay if your plans change along the way. And when you feel lost or need advice, pray and call your mom. Be yourself, be willing to adapt, and when you find your passion, go with your passion. Roll Tide.
All right there, y'all. I don't know exactly how I'm gonna follow that up. He stole a couple of my stories, but we can go to other ones or tell them from my perspective. We'll just see how that goes. First of all, I just want to say thank you to most above and beyond, my mom especially, my dad as well. Without y'all too, there is no way I'd even be attending this banquet, much less speaking to y'all. Thanks to my mother and father pushing me, I was able to get into this position to achieve this, and it is directly because of them, but also because of other mentors, teachers, coaches that I've had along my journey. One of the very first notable teachers that I had in my schooling career was Miss Jenna Gaddis. She was my first grade teacher, and she kind of opened my eyes on how fun it could be to learn different kinds of different things. Like, I was never really interested in topics and other types of ideas, but I was in her class, first grade, we're going over, it was a new math concept, and I'm like, I don't want to do this. But then she lays it out in a form where it's a riddle, a puzzle. And I'm so competitive that if there's a challenge, I'm going to try and solve it, even if it's idiotic to try and do so. That opened my eyes to how fun math would be in that classroom. Going up through elementary school, Miss Haughwout, Miss Tatum, Miss Long, I had tons of different teachers, each who influenced me in different ways, and I just want to say thank y'all to y'all in my early life. Y'all made an impact that lasts through now, and it will continue to last through my life. Moving into middle school, I had numerous teachers who affected me. One would be Miss Cable, she's over there today. I got into middle school and I hated writing. It was awful, and I was bad at it. I didn't know grammar, I could barely spell, still can't really spell, but I'm not gonna talk too much on that. But all I wanted to do was, any late classes, all I would want to do was just sit there and read. That's all I wanted to do. And up until that point, teachers had kind of been okay with that. But Miss Gabriel was the one who walked down and said, no, put the book down, we're gonna teach you how to write. And that kind of started me along my journey into high school, where I kind of learned how to write and got a lot better at it. And another person to thank for that is, where is she? Miss Powell, over there. She was my AP Lit and AP Lang teacher, and she was another woman who has influenced me greatly and directly throughout my high school career. And because of her, one of my proudest moments in high school, I made a 5 on the AP Lang test. AP test, that's the only AP test I've ever made a 5 on. I got to skip 2 college courses for that, so thank you, Ms. Powell. Another great teacher I had here today, Mr. Estes. Fantastic AP US history teacher. Didn't make a 5 on your exam, I'm sorry. You're an awesome teacher nonetheless, I promise. Other teachers throughout my schooling, Ms. Cantrell, math teacher, Dr. Daymude, current math teacher, both fueled my love of learning for new different types of math. Calculus, it's hard, I give you that. But now on to the main event, the reason I'm here, Coach Wharton. I started out my sophomore year, and I was competitive, but if something got too hard, or if I didn't want to do something, or was having a bad day, I'd give up. If I was in the weight room, I'd be doing a lift, I'd skip reps, I'd cut weight, I wouldn't focus. But first couple weeks, I'm in there, summer lifts with Coach Wharton. Sophomore me, he's terrifying. He's jacked, walking around, getting kids hyped up for lifts, doing more than I could ever imagine lifting at that point. And I'd look over, and he'd see me, and I wouldn't be doing anything, and he'd look at me, and he'd just kind of shake his head and I'll walk away. And I hated that. I hated it, because I knew he wanted me to do better. And from that point on, it was, okay, this sucks, I don't want to do it. Coach Wharton is watching, and he's terrifying, so let's do the list. A couple stories about Coach Wharton. So most of them are going to be football related. football coach, 3 years, 6 semesters, a lot of time to get to know a coach, somebody you're going to spend that much time with. I grew very close to him as a person pretty much in this last year. One story before I was super close to him would be our win over Gilmer my junior year. Arch rivals, y'all know that. And you going into that game, y'all, it's a different kind of feeling. The mentality y'all have, it's always going to be a different kind of feeling. But that joy and like euphoria that comes after the win, there's nothing else like it. But throughout that game, there was a bunch of players, myself included, who were on the defensive side, and the offensive style that Gilmer runs, it's we're going to run it until you make us stop. They're going to go wing T, they're going to run it down your throat, and it sucks playing on the D-line. It's hard, and a lot of times you're just going to want to give up. We'd be under the tent, we'd be watching film, and he would know exactly how hard to push you where you get mad and go back out there that next drive and try, but not enough where you give up and quit. There are very few people who know how to tie that line so perfectly, and Coach Wharton is one of them. It's one of the reasons I love him. He knew exactly how hard to push me, enough to make me mad, get back out there, try, but not enough to make me get in my own head, fall back saying, what am I doing, this is stupid, knows that line. One other thing, a couple other stories. 5-10-5 from my perspective. So, I'm in the weight room, I did a lift with Coach Wharton, go in the gym. He's still in the weight room, music blast and all that kind of stuff. I get into the gym, so we do 5-10-5, the agility, that. We do vertical jump, other kinds of agility courses. When I get in there, get down there, first run, not that good, second run, not that good, that third run, I'm like, okay, I know I can do this. Figure it out, get the run, pretty good time, I was very happy with myself. School rolls around, Coach Wharton comes up to me and says, you didn't run that time. And I'm like, yeah, I did, I promise. So, first day of school, we go in there, I try and run it, my shoes are falling off, all that kind of stuff, wasn't prepared. Next day, I'm like, hey, no, I can run it, I promise. Tomorrow, I'm gonna bring a different pair of shoes. So, go home, get a different pair of shoes, come back the next day. I didn't run it quite as fast, I was a couple hundredths of a second slower. I was close, it was close. But he was like, all right. And from that point on, it was kind of, let's try and prove him wrong. Because it's always trying to compete with someone for me. That's one of the other reasons I'm up here, is other students in my class who have pushed me, James, Reed, wherever y'all are. One of the reasons I tried so hard on the SAT so I could beat y'all, sorry. Tried to beat my girlfriend Bailey, that kind of stuff. Always competing with her has helped me a ton as well. I just want to say thank y'all to everybody who's helped me, support me along the way. Thank you to Coach Wharton. I'm going to remember you my entire life. I'm going to text you probably a couple times to college. I'm going to ask for help, support, advice, most likely is what it's going to be. Without you, I wouldn't be who I am today. I was always somewhat smart. That has never really been an issue, but I was reserved, withdrawn, immature, and because of your influence at school, I've matured, I've become physically stronger, but mentally stronger and emotionally mature. And I can't thank you enough, and I just want to give a round of applause from everybody here, myself included. Thank you. And with that, screen start again.
Tough acts to follow. Let's give them another big hand. I'm proud to know both of you. You're both pretty good guys for Alabama people, but we will miss seeing you on Friday nights, and wish you all the best. This is an impressive group, as you can tell. The STAR student and STAR teacher finalists are well chosen, and all of you are very deserving. And it's always tough every year to try and come up with a guest speaker who can maintain the attention of a group of such intelligent people. And so we're always trying to, not to set the bar too high for you, so please don't disappoint me. There's a gentleman that I've had the opportunity to meet a couple of times, mainly around the Capitol, and I've heard such good things from him, from some common connections we have, and so asked him to join us tonight. I'm honored and glad he is, and that is someone who, I normally hate reading bios, but his, again, is so impressive I have to. So I'm going to introduce tonight's guest speaker, Dr. Michael Shannon. And Dr. Shannon is in his first year as the president of the University of North Georgia, appointed effective July 1st, 2023. A native of New Jersey, Shannon is a first-generation college graduate and was commissioned through Army ROTC. He holds a bachelor's degree in aerospace engineering and a master's in aeronautical science from Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University. He also holds a master's in health physics and a PhD in nuclear and radiological engineering from Georgia Tech. Shannon served as a commissioned officer in the U.S. Army for 20 years, retiring in 2015 with the rank of lieutenant colonel. After operational Army service as an infantry and signal corps officer with assignments in the 82nd Airborne Division, the 35th Signal Brigade, and the 2nd Infantry Division, he was selected to serve as a U.S. Army nuclear and counterproliferation officer. For more than 10 years, he provided leadership and technical and operational expertise to the U.S. Department of Defense as an expert in nuclear technology issues, and later held leadership assignments with the Defense Threat Reduction Agency. Shannon also served at the U.S. Military Academy at West Point during 2 different leadership assignments, as an instructor and later as an assistant professor in the Department of Physics and Nuclear Engineering. At West Point, he was actively engaged in teaching and research, along with several activities in support of cadet and Army officer development. Prior to joining the University of North Georgia, Shannon served as a member of Georgia Tech's executive leadership team and was responsible for strategic leadership and operations of human resources, finance and budget, information technology, facilities and infrastructure, capital planning, campus security, and emergency response. In addition, he served in numerous faculty, leadership, and advisory roles, including as a research faculty member and principal investigator in the Advanced Concepts Laboratory at the Georgia Tech Research Institute. Shannon continues to serve veterans' causes, is an active member of his church, and is a coach for multiple local youth sports programs. He and his wife Jessica have 4 children, and we're honored to have him with us here tonight in Jasper.
Here we go. Well, thank you, Tucker. It's always a little weird when people are reading that stuff about you. I'm like, who is that guy? I want to meet him. But look, what an incredible night. Holy cow, I'm blown away. Y'all are like, by the way, everyone needs to meet me at the door to discuss your future college plans. I've got a deal for you. You too. Going across the border, I don't know about that. We got to keep you in this state there, young man. Well, listen, it's an incredible honor. And Tucker, thank you so much for the opportunity to be here in Pickens County. And I'm really blown away by the stories. Coach, where were you when I was in high school, man? I mean, just unbelievable. Dr. Thomas, you got some incredible teachers and incredible students, and I mean, this is just outrageous. It's just unbelievable. So, really, really excited to be here, and thanks to the Optimist Club for having me. Sorry I was running a little hot on 2 wheels. I have a very interesting job that keeps me incredibly busy, so I'm trying to, you know, you would think an aerospace engineer would know how to find a helicopter, but I'm working on it. Getting over these mountains is tough. Students, to all of you being honored tonight, here's the deal. And let me talk to you about something. We are incredibly proud of you. What you have accomplished is incredibly impressive, and I'm going to look you all in the eye. Each and every one of you, What you have accomplished is incredibly impressive. But here's the deal. Here's what's more important is now the opportunity ahead of you. So remember, accomplishments are only as good as yesterday. But what accomplishments allow you to do is create opportunity. And you have tremendous opportunity. You have proven through very hard times, as we've heard, through trials and tribulations, that you can accomplish great things. And you've competed at the highest level, and you've worked hard. And all these teachers in the room have pushed you through those really tough days. But what's more important is what's ahead of you, because you have what it takes to accomplish great things. And that's what I want you to walk away with tonight. If you don't remember anything that I say, and you're not going to, three weeks from now, you're good. Who was that guy? What you're going to remember is what's ahead of you. And I want you to remember that. So I had the distinct privilege, by the way, I apologize. I am the oddest duck in the room. So professionally, I have not figured out what I want to be when I grow up. I am an aerospace trained airborne ranger, American paratrooper, that the Army turned into a nuclear physicist, who then became a chief business officer of a university. And now I'm the president of the university. So I still can't figure out what I want to be when I grow up. But when I was serving in the United States Army, when we would get promoted, you would get promotions. And it's a big deal. It's hard. It's very difficult. And what the Army would always tell us is we're here today to celebrate not what you have done, but what you're about to do. Because rank in the military signifies that you have the capacity and the capability to do something greater at the next level. So to all the students in the room, remember that. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying. We are so proud of you. This is a big deal. But what we're more proud of you about is the opportunity. I'm not supposed to walk around, but too bad. That's why I wear tennis shoes, because I got to keep my old body in shape. I've jumped out of a lot of airplanes. What we are telling you is what's ahead of you is so important, and I want you to know that. And I want you to take that home with you and remember that, because you have what it takes. You have what it takes to do hard things and to compete at the highest levels and to read a book in the locker room. Wow, you gave me something tonight there, sir. And so that's one thing I want you to take with you. The other thing I want you to take with you is, every student, listen to me. You are created for purpose. And I want you to know that. And I don't want you to struggle in the next few months and as you go into college, and you all better be going to college. And like I said, if you're not, come see me. I'll be right over there. I know a guy, and I can take care of you. You're all created for purpose. And don't get all wrapped around the axle about, well, Dr. Shannon, what should I study? What should I learn about? What should my major be? I really like this guy. You're sucking up because you put the aerospace engineer next to me. Let me give you some facts about this, and I'll come back to this idea of purpose, and then I have 4 things for you, and I know I stand between you and the door, so I'm going to be brief. There was a book written in 2020 called Adaptation Advantage. It's a fantastic book. It's a nerd book. You and I would probably hang out on that a little bit, all right? But it talks about the environment we're in today. And this is what the book says. And I want to talk to the students, because everybody else, it's great for you to be here. I really wish it was just me and the students, but that's okay. Here's what I want to tell you. That a 5-year-old today, and this was in 2020, so I guess that 5-year-old will be 9 years old. But a 5-year-old, over the course of their professional life, that's your working life, that 5-year-old will change employers 17 times. By the way, this is data. I'm not making this up. This is data. 17 different employers. To those moms and dads, grandparents in the room, remember the old days where you worked for the company for 30 years? My grandfather did that. Not anymore. And over the course of that life, you'll change employers 17 times, and you'll change career fields 5 times. And some of us can raise our hands. I just told you my story. I keep changing my career field. Think about that. Now, if you were to put it into this really amazing tool that is called Google, have you ever heard of it? It's really cool. If you put that into Google and you search today, it'll tell you 7 times. Well, Dr. Shannon, you are stressing me out. I just don't know what to study now. Exactly. Exactly. Because in the marketplace that you're going to operate in the economy you're going to operate in, you're going to need skills much beyond an aerospace engineering degree, an accounting degree, a physics degree, a nursing degree, whatever it is. You know those little boxes that everybody's got in their lab? Sorry to pick on you, ma'am, you're right here. There's more technology in what you carry in your pocket than was in the space shuttle. The speed of technology today is at a pace we have never seen before. It is incredibly fast. And I'm a nerd. Thanks, Tucker, for flattering me, but you can tell I've been a nerd in my life. And I am mystified at the capabilities of technology every day. Every day. And so what does that mean? When you go to college, and this is for all the students listen to me. When you go to college, this is what you're supposed to do. And Coach, you said it very well. I loved what you said. Every day, equip yourself to walk towards your purpose. That purpose that I talked about that you were created for. And it takes a journey to figure out what that purpose is. That doesn't always come. And some of the folks that are my age in the room will say, yeah, man, I'm still trying to figure my stuff out. Walk towards your purpose. Don't get wrapped around the axle about, what do I study? What classes do I take? What do I do? Go to college. You know why you go to college? Because college teaches you how to think. And at the University of North Georgia, we're a university that believes in, we teach you how to think, not what to think. We're very proud of that. We want you to be able to think and grapple and struggle with the hard things. Coach talked about this because this world you're entering into is complicated. It's tough, it's dynamic, it's complex, it's interconnected. Edge computing, cloud computing, generative AI, adaptive AI, Internet of Things, industrial Internet of Things. If you don't know anything I'm talking about, you're not a nerd. But this is what's running our world and our economy today, and they're operating at a scale we have never seen before. And so walking towards purpose will equip you for that. You know what employers want to hear? I get to talk to a lot of employers, what I do for a living. People ask, what does a university president do? Don't ask, it's not a flattering job. But what I will tell you is this, I talk to employers all the time, and I get opportunities to talk to some amazing people, CEOs, from around our state, around our region. And this is what I'll say, what are you looking for in one of your employees? Because I'm a university professor. My job is to ensure we deliver a relevant, differentiated, calling-based student to the marketplace. You know what they said? I want a student who makes their bed. That's a little weird. What do you mean? So there was this great book a few years ago by Admiral McCraven. He was the commander of the Joint Special Operations Command. He was the commander during the time Osama bin Laden was taken away from us. And so I used to be in this line of work. So here's what he said: no matter what you do every day when you make your bed, you set the stage for the day. No matter what happens during the day, you have a better day because you're ready to go. You know what I mean? When you get up in the morning and make your bed, you got some juice. You're ready to roll. You're ready to get after it. That's what employers tell me. By the way, they don't come in and say, I need you to know differential equations. Now you're gonna learn a little bit about that. They don't say you need to know statics or mechanics or fluid dynamics or Green's theorem or anything else. What they'll say is, I need people who will show up with their clothes on. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a different culture we're in today. And who will be great teammates, and who will look each other in the eye, and who will put the phone away long enough to have a conversation and engage and struggle with the challenges before them today. That's what college is all about. You go to college and it's hard. You're going to get a rude wreck in there, young man, when you show up. You're going to get some, all of you. But that's okay. Like Coach said, tomorrow is a better day than today. But that's what employers are looking for. They're looking for leaders. They're looking for people who will pick up their neighbor's trash in the middle of the night that blew out into the street and not even tell them about it. They're looking for people at the grocery store who will let somebody in line in front of them. Imagine if you did that. You have no idea what that person's going through that day. You may have made their day because you let them get ahead of you in line because they're going through the worst day in their life. You have no idea about that. That's what college is about. That's what this struggle is about. And I want to encourage you in that, to go to college, struggle through those things, and you will be changed. Ladies and gentlemen, no one in my family ever went to college. Nobody. I was the first one. And through the generosity of the United States Army, I was given an ROTC scholarship, and I was able to go. And I ended up serving a long time, most of my adult life in the United States Army, and it changed me forever. And I'm not advocating for that, although we do a little bit of that in North Georgia, if you didn't know. But what I will tell you is this: find every way you can to go to college. There are so many means to go to college. Our state is the most generous higher education state in America. I'm a higher education nerd. It's what I do for a living. And I will tell you, there's not a state in America who invests in higher education the way Georgia does. Hope, Zell, our state appropriations, our state funding. It's incredible. There are more opportunities to go to college in Georgia than most states combined. Go to college, struggle through it, learn how to make your bed, learn how to struggle with that calculus test, or that English paper, or that science lab. Learn how to live with other people that you've never been around before. I went to college, I'm sorry, I'm from New Jersey, don't make fun of me. But I love Georgia, I've been here a long time. I came to Georgia to go to Fort Benning to infantry school, and I said, man, I like it down here. I found out there was this magical thing called Krispy Kreme. And I never let, well, I went a few places and then I came back. But I went to college in Arizona. And you want to talk about a weird, weird time. I show up out there and there's kids in my little dorm area from California. It's different in California. And from Texas. My neighbor was from Wichita Falls, Texas. He didn't talk like me, he didn't look like me, he didn't think like me. And I had to struggle through that. And it changed me, and it developed me, and it inspired me, and it made me better. And so that's my message tonight to all of our students. Go to college. Learn those tools, because you're going to operate in an economy where, quite frankly, what's on your degree does not matter. Well, how do you know that, Dr. Shannon? You've done all this fancy stuff. No, I haven't. Here's how I know. I was the chief business officer of a $2.5 billion enterprise. A $2.5 billion organization. You can call it a company. It's not really a company, but it's an enterprise. $2.5 billion with a B, enterprise. With over 22,000 employees. I've never taken one course in business, not one. You don't have an MBA or a CPA or a, no. I have an FIO. That's a figure it out. That's what I have. So don't get tied up around that. Don't let some title on a piece of paper frame who you are. You're a leader. You're a difference maker. You're a change maker. You need to go into the world, because many of us in this room are not going into the world like you are. You need to go into the world and make a difference and change it. Not because of what you know, but because of who you are. Not because of your what, but because of your why. And so I want to encourage you in that tonight as you go about, as you leave here tonight. You're like, who is that goofy dude in the white tennis shoes? By the way, these are North Georgia Nighthawk tennis shoes. By the way, did you hear we're doing pretty good in basketball right now? If you're bored Saturday, please come to the game. We are hosting the Southeast Regional Tournament for the NCAA in Dahlonega. We're the #1 seed. Let's go Nighthawks. But what I want you to remember is you're created for purpose. Don't get wrapped around the axle of what's on your degree, what's on your resume, the experiences you've had. We just need you to get up and make your bed. Does that make sense? Does that make sense to all the students in the room? I want to encourage you in that tonight. Walk towards your purpose. If every one of us in this great nation of ours would walk towards our purpose and would focus on that, boy, it would be a different place. I saw young boys die for this country. It would be a different place. And so I encourage you in that tonight. I'm so proud of you, all of our students, to our teachers. Thank you for who you are and what you do. You have the hardest job around. Right there with our law enforcement and our first responders and our teachers, you all get it done. And I'm incredibly grateful that you get up every day and do what you do. Because it matters. Teachers, listen to me. You matter. What you do matters. You are leaving legacies that you will never know about, but you are changing the trajectory of lives. And I want to encourage you in that. And so with that, I'm so proud of you, all of the awardees. I'm proud of you, the parents, for enabling your young people to be able to be successful, for supporting them. I'm so proud of this group who has done this program for 30 plus years, honoring. Think about the kids 30 years ago who sat in a room like this. Where are they today? And what are they doing? And so congratulations. Thank you, Tucker, so much for having me. It's been an incredible honor. And again, last shameless plug, if you want to talk about college, I know a guy. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great night.
Thank you, Dr. Shannon. That was a great message I think our students needed to hear, and I'm glad you got to come down and see what this is all about and how proud we are of these students and teachers. And one of the reasons we love this event every year is because, no pun intended, it renews our optimism. It really does. When we feel at times concerned or discouraged about the way we're headed, and you restore our optimism for the future. And so I just want to echo what Dr. Shannon said. Go out there and be the leaders you are. Make mistakes, learn from them, but go succeed. And I want to remind you of one more thing. I want to encourage you to go out and see the world, go do great things, explore. You should. I've been blessed to do some of that in my young life, and so I think that's important. But I also want to remind you, and I think this is important too, don't forget where home is. And if you ever need a place to come, you can always come back here. I guarantee you, there's people that love you and are here to support you, so don't forget that too. And we hope that one day you'll be the ones leading this community and helping put on events like this to serve the community just like people are serving you now. So thank you, and appreciate everyone being here. You've all had an impact one way or another in supporting our school system, supporting these students and these teachers, and we just thank you so very much. Now at this time, I'm going to ask if you all will please stand. And we have a tradition in the Optimist Club. We have a creed. You'll find it on the back of your programs. In just a minute, I want you to join me in saying this creed. Before I forget, I do want to make an announcement to the students and the teachers. Please stay around. We're going to take a group photo right over here to my left, so please, if you'll come to do that. But again, thank you all for making tonight special. We wish you all the best of luck. And if you will, and listen closely to what our creed is, and maybe take one or two things with you when you go. If you'll join me in reading. Promise yourself to be so strong that nothing can disturb your peace of mind, to talk health, happiness, and prosperity to everyone you meet, to make all your friends feel that there is something in them, to look at the sunny side of everything and make your optimism come true, to think only of the best, to work only for the best, and expect only the best, to be just as enthusiastic about the success of others as you are about your own, to forget the mistakes of the past, but press on to the greater achievements of the future, to wear a cheerful countenance at all times and give every living creature you meet a smile, to give so much time to the improvement of yourself that you have no time to criticize others, to be too harsh for worry, too noble for anger, too strong for fear, and too happy to prevent the presence of trouble. Thank you all. Have a great night.